All right, welcome to Rapid Fire Manufacturing. Today I have Drew Crowe. He is the founder of the New American Manufacturing Renaissance. It's nationally, he's a nationally recognized speaker, educator, and advocate for the trades and for second chance careers. He's a former felon and a teenage father, respected voice on stage. So he is really, I think, the poster person for overcoming adversity and what God can do in your life. So thank you, Drew, for joining. I appreciate everything you're doing on stage and
Thank you,
just
man.
across the country, man.
I appreciate it, and what an intro, bro. So thank you for that, for sure, dude. That's a good way to hear about yourself early in the morning, man. The rest of my day is gonna be dope.
I want to talk about your story. And again, I know you probably told this a million times, but there might be some people out there that haven't heard it, and I like to hear it firsthand too.
Sure. So yeah, man, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I like to tell people I'm probably from the areas that you see on TV, for all the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? So I lived a life where I had to grow up quick. My mom worked a lot, just trying to provide for my brothers and sisters and myself, and you know, the options that were available to her weren't things that were paying livable wages. So she was always working, and God bless her heart, when she was home she would give us the best that she could, but she had to rest up and get ready for three more jobs tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I seen at a young age, I just wanted to, help my mom at the end of the day. And, the school that I went to was a long drive from where I lived, and it didn't look like the area that I was from. The teachers weren't from there. And so I wasn't being engaged in school. I wasn't really like feeling like I was a smart kid or school was for me. And I was being engaged in the streets. So I jumped off the porch, so to speak, and I got into the streets and got hired. They always hiring, and I was working a job, and I did well at it, but that job comes with some guarantees, and that's jail or death, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
fortunate for me, it was jail, and it was consistent jail. I had felonies at a teenage before I was 18. I had a kid before I was 18, and life was just looking like that was what it was gonna be for me. But I felt in my heart that I was bigger. There was something out here for me. There's something that I could do besides what I was doing. And this is what I tell kids on the road sometimes. It's like, you don't have to know what you want to be. Sometimes you got to know what you don't want to be, right? And that was
Mm-hmm.
my case. I didn't want to be who I was being at the time. So I put the word out like, yo, I want to do something legal. I want to just, take care of my son. My son's starting to mimic the things that I'm doing that I'm not proud of. Like, I don't want this cycle to continue. So a person reached out to me and was like, hey, I can connect you with this guy, Donnie Ogle. He's got a machine shop, and you can go in there, and he's looking for two positions. So I went in there with a resume that I can muster together, and Donnie looked past the resume, and he just had a real conversation with me. And this dude was like night and day from what I am, right? So he was a old, white. Sorry, Donnie. His neck was red. You know what I'm saying? He got no hair. You know what I'm saying? Had a little drawl. Might have had some cowboy boots on at the time. And I went in there, mouth full of gold teeth, braids, more hood than I am right now. And Donnie just saw right through that and just had a conversation with me, man. And he was like, I've been where you are, maybe not in the exact same environment, exact same circumstances, but I see your hunger and I see that you're willing to do whatever to change your life, right? So I'm gonna put you on the saw. And I started off on the saw, third shift, cleaning machines for the machinists that were coming in the next morning, cutting all the material, dropping it off with all the work orders and the riders, and making sure that they were ready to just cook in the morning. And it was my first time seeing manufacturing, the manufacturing process, the machines, like how things work, like, and I was just infatuated, bro. Like, I can't even put it into words how much I loved what I was seeing. And it was like it just encompassed me. Like I went home that night and I couldn't sleep. I was just thinking about the shop. And it was like the next day, only thing I could think of was like getting back to work. You know what I'm saying? And I just had that
Yeah.
feeling of now I got something to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's legal and it's like cool to me. So I spent all my time in the shop, like time that I would be on the block. I picked up overtime. Like I just always wanted to be there. I hustled some a machinist workbook, handbooks, and taught myself as much as I could. YouTube wasn't big at the time. We certainly didn't have any machining on YouTube. And I just worked my way up from the saw to the manual machines to the CNC machines and then programming. And then eventually I got to go to college. I got to, go to post-grad. I went to MIT, got a couple post-grad degrees, and I really, got to use this industry to change my life. I became a professor. Now I get to travel the world and teach people about our careers, teach them how to get them, teach them how to get other people skilled up to get them. It's just, it's been a journey, but it's been, one that I've been able to fall in love with and enjoy walking it every single day.
That I get chills hearing that, man. That's crazy. Like, so when you had that interview with Donnie, did you say?
Yeah, Donnie Ogle.
So when you had that interview, how did you react? Like, what were you feeling inside during that? Were you
So,
nervous, or were you, man, this guy's talking to me heart to heart? I
yeah,
want to,
so
prove
I
myself.
think it honestly caught me off guard. You know what I'm saying? And this
Yeah.
is what a lot of people that are either justice impacted or come from underserved populations, whether they're any race, you know what I'm saying, whether they're from the sticks
Mm-hmm.
or they're from the hood or just whatever. A lot of times before we get into that first interview, we're already telling ourselves like negative things like, oh, this person's not going to hire me, oh, they're going to find out I'm a felon, oh, I don't have no skills for this, or just whatever it may be. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm already beating myself down, like trying to tell myself that let myself down light, you know what I'm saying? And when he started, like, we definitely did some technical stuff first, right? So I got a machinist test that he handed me, and I failed the machining side, and on the back side there were measurements like 1/8 and 3/8 and like
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I knew from the street. So I did good on the backside, right? And he was like, "Look, man, you're not a machinist at all. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what these tools are. Like they have micrometers and calipers and like different readings that you had to do." And he was like, "But you can become one." So that was the first thing that sparked my interest. So he's like, he's not completely closing the door on me, right? And he's also
Yeah.
saying that he's willing to show me how to get to this better position. I just got to show up every day, right? So I was like, okay, there's some opportunity there. And then he started asking me questions about myself, why am I even here, and like all these different things. So I'm like, okay, he wants to really know me. Like he cares, or at least it felt like he did. So it really felt like it went from an interview to like a mentor situation that fast. And I felt like I was talking to somebody who was as interested in investing in my career as I was, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now,
Yeah.
and
He saw
again, like
something
that's,
in you that you didn't even see in yourself.
but now, with when hindsight's 2020, it's like those are the tactics that I teach when I go work with a company or go work with a technical college when they're having trouble recruiting and retaining. Because what Donnie did in that interview was not only recruit me, but also retain me. Like he had built-in retention. You come every day, 90 days, I'm gonna make you a machinist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
bet. I'm gonna be here every day on time, like, you know what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
I became a machinist and there's more opportunity. So let me keep coming because these people have demonstrated that they're willing to invest in me if I invest in myself, right? So
Yeah.
so that was built in longevity right there, whether he knew what he was doing or not, right? And a lot of times in these hiring situations, we just try to get people in the door. We're just trying to hire people, but we're not thinking like, okay, what's a clear pathway that I can present to them so that they can see themselves here for the next 2 to 3 years, right? Or what can
Mm-hmm.
I ask them and pull out of them that they need? What are they not getting out of their current position? Or what are they not seeing in this position that's making them say, let me sign paperwork right now, right? And let me see if I can provide that, right? So having a deeper understanding of the people that you want to hire or the people that you're interviewing to hire really gives you an idea, if you're willing to do it, of what their fears, what drives them, what all of these different things that you can then use to empower them in their position every day to be the best that they can be. And I think that that's exactly what Donnie did. Smart dude, man. People give machinists a lot of crap, man. But them old machinists, they be knowing some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. So it's about not only getting people in the door, but with a long-term plan for him, right? Like, hey, here's some steps how you can move up. We're gonna map it out, whether it's 90 days, 6 months, a year.
Yeah,
Like, we want to map everything out.
100%. And that's one of the first assessments that I do when I go into a place that's having trouble hiring, having trouble with retention. I ask them, what does career progression look like here? Right? Show me 3 different career tracks that if I come in the door at one of these entry level positions, that I can, clearly work into, and give me, the requirements for each different one. And a
Hmm.
lot of different places, especially the mom and pops, even though they might have something like that in their mind, it's not clearly written out, right? And that's the
Right.
first step. Is, I'm sorry to get biblical and stuff, but that's just who I am. Like, write it down, make it clear, right? So we
Hmm.
got an empty tablet right here. Like, write down your plan, write down your mission, write down the traits and the, like, I have them do a persona sheet, right? So what does your current worker look like? Hand out this persona sheet to everybody in your plant right now, and have them fill out what keeps them here. What do they like? What are their fears of working here? What do they want to do here? What are their, perceived strengths? What are their perceived areas of opportunity? And when you take all of those, and you have a real idea of who's working for you right now, right? Once you have that, then you give that to people that you're interviewing, right? I really want to know
Hmm.
your whole persona. And then, is this going to be a good fit? Do we offer, is this company culture right now connected to this person's needs and wants and fears and all of those different things, right? And it goes beyond
Hmm.
just what are your technical abilities, because at the end of the day, that's not telling me anything about how you're going to work as a team, how you're going to work under pressure, how you're going to get this part out the door when, we're down to our last cutter, but it has got to get done by 5 a.m. You know what I'm saying? And the machine's got a little vibration, and there's a shift change, right? So those are
Hmm.
the things that you're able to pull out, or say, hey, this person doesn't work that well under pressure on a team, but by themselves they do. So their work every day looks different, and now they want to be here because it's aligned with who they are, right? So we're making better connections, and we're keeping people for longer. And then we're getting to find, like, Johnny doesn't really want to work on, like, he doesn't want to progress. He loves just being a setup guy for the Lays. Let's just make him an
Hmm.
amazing setup guy and stop trying to push him into this other position that we have a need for because we think he fits, right?
Hmm.
Or we've got a kid that's on a machine right now, and he's like amazing at CAD CAM. Like, he does SolidWorks at home or whatever it is. Like, he's got a 3D printer and all that different stuff. Find that out and then put him off of the mill that he's on and move him into something that he likes, or start sending him to class, right? Or start empowering him to become that person in that position. But give the people the opportunity and the transparency and a nice tight feedback loop to where they can tell you these things and not feel like their job's in jeopardy.
Yeah, absolutely. So play to their strengths because they're going to stick around if you're like, hey, I'm investing in you. I
Yep.
notice that you like
Play to the
the
strengths
front of the
and
mill.
play to the areas of opportunity, right? Like for me, one of my weaknesses probably I wasn't technically trained. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't go to school for this, but I was willing. So hey, he's got an area of opportunity where he's never went to tech college or went to, college for this. So he's a blank slate. We can train him the way that we like to train him, right? So that becomes an opportunity, right? And then they know that I want to move up. I want to get into, programming, and I want to get into engineering, and I want to do these things. So using my motivation and my area of opportunity, when you bring them together, hey, we can train him to become the best machinist and programmer for our plant. You know what I'm saying? And we can move
Hmm.
him up into where motivate him by moving him up into these different places.
That's sweet. Um, yeah, yeah, you definitely have talked with Brett Lister before.
Yeah, that's the homie.
Yeah,
Shout out to Brett.
and Q, I see Q. So
Yeah,
Brett's done stuff like that too, where he's trying to grow and develop them within his company, and
one
it's
hundred
just
percent, man. And
yeah.
so I had the opportunity to meet them both in different stages of their careers. Um, well, I mean, I think I always knew Brett as a shop owner, but um, I got to go to Philly as part of my tour, my New American Manufacturing Renaissance tour. And my first and second year, Mastercam were title sponsors, and they were just really, really like about the mission and the work, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
were going into schools in the hood and schools in the sticks and getting them free seats of Mastercam, getting them laptops, getting them programming mics, like really getting them access to the high level things of these careers that they couldn't currently, afford or they didn't have. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
Q was in one of those first classes that we were able to bring the master cam and all that stuff too. And then I got to come back the next year and so into the class again. And so, meeting his instructor, shout out to Ron Sizer.
On Sizer, my dude.
Man,
Yes.
dog, Ron
He's awesome.
is the man, dog. So I got to meet Ron that first year, and then we just, became like this. And it's like, all right, whatever I can come out here like Robin Hood and go get, I'm bringing back to the school, right? And I'm gonna bring back to the Philly area, and like, Philly became almost my second home. You know what I'm saying? It's like then I started working with DVIRC. Shout out to them. They're the MEP in Philly, and with them and the Maritime Industrial Base, we're starting to build a training center out there. And so, getting out there and doing more speaking and looking at buildings and building out curriculum, I got to start talking to the industry. And Brett was one of the first guys that like any show that I got in Philly, he's there. You know what I'm saying?
That's sweet. Yeah.
And he's not there to like, we got a lot of pictures, but he's not there for like just the pictures. Like he's there to like, okay, Drew, we about to chop it up. Like, this is what you're about. This is my need right now. Like, how can I do this stuff? And he's one of the guys that he takes talk and turns it into action fast. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, when I first started talking to him, he was like, started the shop, B&B, doing his things and whatever struggles come with that. Then he, expanded and he hired, a young man, and he was helping in the shop, and then he had to make a career change or whatever, and things happen, but he's always weathered the storm, right? And then he started a manufacturing, like I guess you would call it coalition, where he got other manufacturers in the area, and now they're meeting once a month. You know what I'm saying? And they're talking about the things that they're what's working, what's not working, and that's the new American manufacturing renaissance. Like opening the doors, closing the silos, reaching out, like seeing things online. Drew's working with this guy that's in my area. Let me connect. You know what I'm saying? And then we see things like Brett hiring Q, and then Q and Brett going back to schools and talking to people and talking about this, how this happened. And what do you think that's going to do? Spark 10 more minds to be like, oh man, I got to do that too, right? So I love to see the result of collective work and, taking ideas and actually acting upon them and taking it the next level. And now the person you hired that went through the tutelage of Ron and now working with you, who all have the same idea and the same agenda and the same mission. Now we just created another soldier, you know what I'm saying? And he's out there going to be doing the good work, so this is what it is. And this is also why, like, when I first started doing this stuff, people hate it so hard. You know what I'm saying? And like, oh, Drew's just an overnight gimmick and da-da-da. But it's like, look at all the young people that are quoting Drew. Look at all the old people that are saying the same things that they heard me say on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? I don't get the credit all the time, but I see it and I know everybody sees it. Look at the people, look at the Quincy's, look at the Bretts, look at the people that are doing the work of the new American manufacturing renaissance offline. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the CNC Samurai, Steve Cortrain, look at the Nushes, look at the U's, like we here, you know what I'm saying? And whether people like say I'm part of the new American manufacturing renaissance or not, y'all are, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a movement. This isn't just like something that Drew says, or like, this is not a hashtag, dog. Like, this is the work that we doing on and offline that's giving results like that. You know what I'm saying? So we here, baby. We ain't going nowhere.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and you even said that before we started recording too. You're like, I'm out of the equation. It's not about me.
Yeah,
This is about the
no, and it
movement.
feels
This
good
is
too.
way beyond.
Yes, it feels so good. It's like, and it was a slow cook, you know what I'm saying? But it was the right cook. Like, this ain't no microwave, so This is grandma woke up at 5 a.m. to cook dinner, Sunday dinner tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this Sunday dinner, and I think that as people come to the table and they're welcomed and they're embraced, and then we have conversations like this, and then you know people take it offline and they start groups in their local areas and they continue these types of conversations and they keep this stuff on the mental of the industry. You can't you can't stop organicness, you know what I'm saying? And so
Once that momentum is just
it's there, and then like we at all the shows, right? Or if we're not at the shows, we're creating our own and we're clicking up, or there's ways that we're meeting and we're collaborating and we're continuing to do the work, whether it's facing the industry or like whether people see it or recognize it or not, we do. You
mhm,
know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
it's a great feeling, and I called it. Like, all of my early interviews, people would say, well, what does the new American manufacturing renaissance look like? What's your goal? What are you, trying to do? And I always said, I want there to be 10, 20, 100 me's, you know what I'm saying? And then I want them to
Mhm.
open the door for 10, 20, 100 thems, and I want people to be able to, have no shame in telling their story, have no shame in being a transparent, have no shame in saying, "Hey, I don't got skills, but I want them. I want to get over there." And then having other people step up and be like, "All right, bet I got you. Like, here's some classes, here's some resources, here's all these different things, right?" So seeing the fruits of the labor, and then seeing the people whose lives and careers have changed or taken a different trajectory because of our interactions or because of them getting down with this movement is just, I'm so grateful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's awesome to see what you're doing and to see how many more people are just collaborating right now in the
Yeah.
industry. It just seems like it's not about like you said before, people just silo things and like, hey, we can't let them know about that. Now it's like, let's just be transparent about everything.
Yeah, and I think that's also a tip of the hat to the screenagers and the younger millennials and Gen Zs that are in the field, and the ones like myself that are in our 30s. Like, we've been in it long enough to where we're like, man, this can't keep going like this. Like,
Hmm.
we're tired. Now we're the shop managers, and we got a little bit more clout now. We weren't just like, the new guys, right? Or the new girls,
Yeah.
right? And now we're
Yep.
not scared to use our voices in a way that is not just going to change our careers, but it's going to change careers for people coming after us, right? And
Hmm.
so we're taking advantage of all of the things that the people that had been here for a long time failed to take advantage of. There's no reason why we're just now podcasting, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason why we're just now, like, people are just now taking videos in shops or like, or whatever it is. But we come in and we come in with that. Put your phone down. No, I'm not. I'm cool. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, no, I got an app on here actually that's helping me with your feeds and speeds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this phone's actually helping me do my job. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And at the same
Yeah.
time, I'm about to take a selfie by my machine, and 15 kids that never saw a machine like this or a person like me standing in front of it, holding it down, programming it, making it do what I wanted to do. Like, that's what's gonna get more people in here. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
what's gonna keep your a line out the door of people that want to come in here and run this big machine and take pictures and whatever, just like me, right? So now we're doing it our way, and it's translating in a way where the old guard is like, oh man, we got to pick up, like, we got to do that too, or like they're finally starting to see the way that business used to happen doesn't operate and doesn't rock like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I get it. I get where it came from. There was a time where it was a strategic advantage for us to be super siloed. You know what I'm saying? And my bottom line depended on me making sure the guy down the street in the industrial park didn't take my business or didn't take my
Hmm.
niche. You know what I'm saying? But now work is everywhere. No matter if you on the red side or the blue side, everybody's bringing it back to America. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Hmm.
like there's no better time than right now to get these skills, get in this industry, and I'm not gonna stop letting people know about it. You know what I'm saying? And everything that we can do. and neither is the gang. You know what I'm saying? It's the Renaissance, baby.
Yes, sir. No, and I love that too because when these shop owners and stuff show their personality and record stuff like that, it draws people into that person. They're like, hey, I want to work like Nick Golner, perfect example. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to work at Hennig. I like you. Like you're a cool dude.
Yes.
I get along with him great. So we need to show more of that, right?
1,000%. And then I think, testament to guys like you, like you said, I'm gonna start a podcast. And you just did it. You know what I'm saying? And you went
Mm-hmm.
out and you met people, you put yourself in position to get guests on there. You did the work. But if you were working in a shop already with one of these old guard people and you were like, hey, I think it would benefit us to maybe do a podcast in here, or if you start showing your personality, whole lot more red tape that you would have went through, and frustration, and probably a no at the end of the day because they just don't understand it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we're able to just start doing these things on our own, we empower ourselves to do this type of stuff. Then the industry comes back around like, oh, can I sponsor your show? Can you have me on there? You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
we the generation that's just taking those chances, and we're just gonna come out. And for the most part, I don't think we're scared to fail either. Like, like maybe I'll start a podcast right now, but maybe that turns into something else or whatever. But LinkedIn and the internet has given us an opportunity to see beyond just resumes and beyond just mundane. Here's what I've done. Here's the machines I worked on. Here's what school I went to. Right now, we get to
Mm-hmm.
watch podcasts. We get to see people put their personality in posts. So then I can make a conscious decision. I would work for that person. I want to follow that person. I've seen enough of this person that they're like me. I understand that culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to shout out Rebecca Wolfinger. She put up a post the other day, and she was like, manufacturers are only trying to put cameras in their machines or whatever. If they're just showing the machining process, right? And it's like, if you're not in manufacturing, you don't even know what that is. You know what I'm saying? But what you do know if you're
Mm-hmm.
not in manufacturing is, Rebecca, hey, me and my husband started this shop, like that story is something that people can understand. And then once they, come into our industry, or they see just everyday shop things like, whatever, why are they doing this? What's the why? What type of personalities are in here? What does a day-to-day look like for a machine shop? Then after that, maybe they'll get into, watching, coolant and cutters. And also, like, who gonna do coolant and cutters better than Titan? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
leave that to the people that are like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna out boom nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got that game on lock, and rightfully so, because he built that up, right? But it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you got so many other things that you could show that will uniquely make people want to come work for you if you just show it. You know what I'm saying? But cutters and coolant and machines, is somebody already out there that and I'm not saying like, don't do it. Like, whatever. If that's what you like, definitely do it. It's something that I like to see, but I didn't like it until I understood it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you
You need
really
to
don't know what you're
understand
looking at
market.
until you're there. And also, I think that's another thing that kind of gives us a little bit of a tough time getting people hired. Like, you don't work on the machine every day, right?
No, I sell. No,
Right.
I sell.
For
Machine
me,
tool
there was
accessories.
parts of my career where I did work on the machine every day. Some I didn't touch the
Mm-hmm.
machine at all. I haven't ran a machine in probably 4 years, but I would still call both of us working in manufacturing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we
I'm
gotta
around
also
them all day,
right,
in
right. So
shops
we all
and
gotta
yeah.
also show people being in front of the machine is not the only job that we offer. You know what I'm saying? But if we only showing machines cutting metal, then we're missing out on the great salespeople that love the machines, but they rather talk about them, or the great applications engineers that love the science of everything that's going on, but they rather go solve a problem for a shop owner that's saying, hey, this isn't cutting this material the way I want it. Can you help me? You know what I'm saying? Or
Mm-hmm.
we bought when I was teaching at the local technical college, we had to get into fifth axis, right? But we didn't have
Yeah.
a budget to get a machine. So I hollered at my boy Nick, and y'all came through and, like, set us up with a nice trunnion and all of that stuff, right? But that's what we need to show more of. Like, yeah, we make cool stuff, but there's so many other opportunities and positions and things that make those parts happen and get them out the door. And, like, there's so many other things in between that a person, a job seeker, a student, whatever that is, could probably see themselves in as well. And if we're not showing that aspect, then they'll never know, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And even, you could be a buyer. You could love having relationships with all these different vendors and
Right.
suppliers, and you're like, hey, I have we got to show more of that from the accounting to the
All
operator,
aspects.
everything.
Yes. And there might be somebody in your shop right now, or like there might be somebody that thinks that they had to be a machinist and they're better at all of those other things. You know what I'm saying? So, we gotta have some clear pathways, have some empowerment, and just make sure people are seeing like every aspect of what we got going on and what we're doing.
Absolutely. And now, Drew, for the people listening, what's something that they can do to help the cause?
Definitely reach out to your boy. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I think the first step is being introspective and saying, hey, have we tried everything that we can? You know what I'm saying? And within our own understanding, in our own capacity, or say, hey, what we're trying, is it actually giving us the results that we need, right? And if you can look
hmm
at that first and take that first introspective look at your company, yourself, then you can step back and say, hey, let me call a specialist. Like, let me have Drew come through, right? Or let me have whoever else come through. It doesn't have to be me. If you want the best results, definitely holler at me. But there's other people that are kind of, doing this work too. So, like I said at the school, I knew we had to do some fifth axis work. I knew the industry was going into that. So I needed to build out a semester that was multi-axis programming, right? So I had to take
hmm
an assessment. I could do this whole thing virtually. There's a lot of virtual tools that'll teach it, but my industry partners, the people that are going to hire my kids, want them to have at least, 20, 30 hours of doing it on a machine before they can hire them for that, right? So for me, I said, all right, I need to call somebody that knows the options, that like that's what they do, right? So I reached out to my network and I brought an expert in here. Hey, help me choose within my budget what's going to get this done, and then help me write the curriculum around it, or give me whatever resources that you have so I can do this. And that's what we got to do. We got to say, hey, I'm a machinist, or I'm a shop owner that got here from machining. I'm not an HR
hmm
guy, you know what I'm saying? Or even my HR person is more for insurance and whatever, but we're not people that are going to go recruit and retain, from the community outside my door. We're more word of mouth, or we're just whatever. We've been stuck in the system. So you take a step back and you say, who's out here doing it right now? And who's doing it to the level of, this is their only focus, and bring me in. And we've got a lot of opportunity for you to do free stuff like right now. So I've got ebooks right now, right? And one of them
hmm
is for job seekers. The other one is for manufacturers. So any manufacturer right now that says, hey, I don't even know how to assess my operation, I don't know where to start, I've got a book called the Manufacturing Renaissance Starter Kit, where you can start this renaissance right there in your shop right now. And it has activities as workshop, so you can assess yourself. The assessment questions are in there, and you can see where you stand as a company. There's also action steps that you can take right now to get more people in your door. This is all a free workbook. All of the assessments are free. It's right there. And like I said, this is a culmination of what I know, and I'm giving it to the industry because I want the industry to be better. So start with that. Once you start with that and you go through the workbook, you make the action plan, you make some of the free changes, and you see some of those results coming in, and you say, hey, I want to really set these systems up. I want to, scale this thing. Then I'll come in and I'll build out the systems together with you, and we'll scale. And every 6 months we'll do a check-in. So, holler at your boy. I got some more resources coming to the site. I got a team that are really like digitizing and putting everything in a way where AI can do all the stuff for you.
Nice.
Within the next month, I'm not sure when this is going to drop, but within the next month, you'll be able to just go on my website. And if you're a company, you can get a free workforce assessment. If you're a person that wants to get in the game, or you're in the game and you say, hey, there's better opportunities out there for me, for my expertise, there's assessment for you and a smart matching system. So we can get you locked in with opportunities that really speak to all your needs, not just speak to whatever you have on your resume or not. And we're just gonna keep it going. But I want access. That's the main thing. So, once we say awareness on the industry side, hey, there are people that can fill these jobs. They're right outside my door. There are resources that help me train them. There are resources that help me find them. There are resources that help me keep them, right? I just need to know how to tap into them. There's templates in there, all type of stuff. So you start there. If you're a job seeker, you got to start with the awareness of, hey, these jobs exist. They're going to pay me well. There's, no ceiling. There's so many different ways I can get in and options I can get, but I got to know that they exist. So that's their awareness. And then after awareness comes action. You got to take the action, and that's in the book, or that's reaching out to your boy. And we're going to get you either your dream job or your dream employer.
That's awesome. Drew, I appreciate everything you're doing, bro. It's awesome to watch you on your journey. And I'll end it real easy. Drew comes through, so reach out to him.
Hey, let's go, man. Thank you for having me, bro. I'm glad we finally got to do this. And it would be remiss for me to say I'm a fan of yours, dog. Like, I love your journey. It's so exciting to see. Please continue to work. Please continue to, push your comfort zones. I know I'm not the only one out here watching you, so there's other eyes. There's, people that are seeing your journey and they're being inspired right now as well. So it's all about the new American manufacturing renaissance. I'm glad to be standing by you, waving this flag, and man, I'm proud of you, dog. So keep it up, my
Thanks,
dude.
bro. That means a lot. All right. Sweet, man. Take care. God bless. Yep.